Hello and welcome to Wellness Wednesday Live. I'm Bethany Zell. I'm the Program Director for Healthy You at Cary Medical Center. And we are joined today by Jane Hanson of the Aroostook Area Agency on Aging. Hello and welcome, Jane.
Hello, thank you.
Jane is the Regional Coordinator for Healthy Living for Me, and these are some classes that we've been conducting in partnership with Jane and the other agencies on aging throughout the state of Maine. And our focus for this entire month of January is on living well and being healthy. And so these courses tie into that directly in helping our community members live healthier lives. So Jane, why don't you tell us a little bit about these classes? What are they? What kinds of offerings are available?
Okay, well, Healthy Living for Me is a partnership between three of Maine's area agencies on aging, the Aroostook Agency on Aging, Seniors Plus, and Spectrum Generations, and we deliver statewide evidence-based health and wellness programs. We offer workshops which help with falls prevention. We have a class called A Matter of Balance, which is to help reduce the fear of falling. We also offer Tai Chi for health and balance, and that's a class with fluid movements to help you feel grounded, relaxed. We also offer a caregiving class called Savvy Caregiver, and 3 classes that are proven to promote health and prevent disease among adults with ongoing medical conditions. Now, these particular workshops are diabetes management, chronic disease, and chronic pain management. The latter 3 workshops are free. They meet once a week for 6 weeks, virtually on Zoom. Our falls prevention and caregiving classes are also offered through Zoom, and meeting times vary with those.
That's awesome. I love that there are so many different opportunities for people to tap into resources to live a healthier life. And it doesn't matter that, we're home, as you mentioned. A lot of these are now being offered virtually. But aside from that virtual platform, how are you reaching all of these communities? These aren't all being taught just by Agency on Aging staff, right?
No, we also partner with community providers such as Cary Medical Center, who offers our classes throughout the year as well. We have volunteers, several volunteers in each agency who attend our trainings, and they teach Tai Chi, they teach our diabetes management, they team up with agency staff, and we usually have 2 instructors for each class. So we can reach anybody statewide because of our partnership with the other agencies.
That's awesome. And I know that because of COVID, we're offering now this kind of a one-on-one experience where you can receive the binder of information. And while we just talked about before coming online that while it's not optimal and it's not quite the same as being in that group environment, it's still very beneficial to the people who are participating that way. So are you finding that you're finding more opportunity for doing that one-on-one, or are you seeing more participation in the groups lately?
Well, actually both. The one-on-one is called our toolkit. And what happens is somebody registers and we mail out all of the information they need. The textbook, the CDs, any handouts, and then we do this by phone. So it's a one-on-one phone call, 1 day a week for 6 weeks for an hour each time. And that completes the class. Those have been pretty popular, which may be surprising to some. I don't know. Our Zoom classes have been very popular, particularly exercise classes such as Tai Chi. That took off last April when we first started it, and it has remained popular throughout the state.
That's awesome. And I think, in this climate, people are just hungry for ways that they can connect and do things that are helping to improve their health without the fear of leaving home. And so having these so accessible through the virtual platforms is amazing. And, you know, and I think it's fantastic that even though it's a little more cumbersome, that we're taking the time to even work one-on-one with people to make it so accessible. And, you know, so even people who might not be able to fit into that traditional time structure of a group class can still access this important information that can really change their life.
Yes, exactly.
And I know that, you know, for some, we're moving into a year now of this online world, the COVID world. Mm-hmm. And, you know, for some people, we've transitioned to that virtual experience seamlessly. And for some, there are still some concerns about online classes. What will it be like? What does it entail? What do I have to do? Do I have to get all dolled up? Do I have to be on camera the whole time? So what does a virtual class experience look like? Is it flexible? Do they have to stay on camera the whole time? Or is it like a big Brady Bunch thing with 800 heads? Are there limits? How many, what's the story?
Okay, so the Zoom experience, the virtual class experience does not have to be scary or intimidating. We try to make it fun. We all, you know, have a good time. It took right off with Tai Chi, with virtually no problems. You know, once in a while there's a technical difficulty, but we resolve that ourselves. We also email out directions how to get onto Zoom if you have a laptop or if you have an iPad or what have you. So we make it as easy as we can for people to download Zoom and actually get onto the class. We also get on early the first time, so, you know, to make sure everybody can get on. You don't have to stay on. I mean, for Tai Chi, for an exercise class where the instructor is trying to watch and help and instruct, yes, it would, you know, it would be beneficial if the instructor can see you. But for the other classes, you know, you don't have to remain, you know, on camera every second.
And I love that we're still trying to keep as much of the fidelity of that group environment as we can with these virtual classes. So I know in the in-person groups, we sometimes will break up into pairs to work on action plans, or we'll, you know, kind of talk in a smaller group. And so that's still a possibility, even within Zoom. We can still share the slides and the posters of information that we would normally share in that in-person class. And, you know, and as you said, there might be some technical glitches because we're all kind of learning this as we go, you know, how to adapt to this way of doing this class that's been in person historically.
Yes, exactly. So, and we try to limit each class to 8, except for the Tai Chi. Because people want to share their experiences, they want to discuss things, and if you have more than that, it's too much. I mean, the class can't go on forever. So, you know, we have to limit so that, you know, everybody can participate.
Yeah, and even in the in-person classes, we had a limit on the number that would work in that kind of a group because, yeah, like you said, everybody needs to have a voice and feel like there's time for them to share to an extent and that they can be engaged and participate as much as everyone else. So that's awesome. Yeah. So some of and I know we've already touched a little bit on some of them, but I feel like it's really awesome to share some of the great components of these Living Well classes that show up pretty much every week, these little strategies and tools from that toolkit that kind of show up all throughout the training that they're just always there. So maybe we can share a few of what those strategies and tools are.
Okay.
For people that might not know what to expect when they come to this class.
Right. So in our classes, everybody gets a textbook and handouts. We also give out relaxation CDs, exercise CDs. So there are a lot of things that they take away. And, you know, these classes are free. I'll just mention that again. Some of the key components in the Healthy Living for Me workshops would include brainstorming, where one of the instructors will ask a question and, you know, I'll give an example. What makes blood sugar go up? So then the participants can just shut out the answers. Not exercising enough or eating too much ice cream or whatever. And the answers are written down. The other instructor writes the answers down, and then they review the list with the participants. It's all talked about, and so they can see the list. And that all involves discussion and participation.
And I think that that's so powerful that, I love how every single thing that's put out there is added to the list. And, it just really makes everyone feel valued in those discussions.
Exactly, yes.
And it can be such a powerful thing, just even within that group. I've had so many people that have shared something and then someone else is like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. Or, oh, you're absolutely right, I should try that. And, 9 times out of 10, we're seeing some of the great ideas that people go home with are coming from those brainstorm sessions with their peers. So it's not even educational information that we're putting out as part of our trained experience. It's just people like them.
Right. And another effective tool is making an action plan. Now that might sound, some people might think, oh, I don't want to have to do any of this, but it's so helpful. We do it every week. And an action plan allows us to achieve what we want to do or what we decide to do, not what somebody else wants us to do. It's up to us. It's what we want to do. And the activity breaks it down into smaller, more doable steps.
Because I think that's one of those things when people make a plan, it's like this huge overarching thing. And so making it that tangible, like we don't even let people walk out of there unless they're at least 70% confident that they can accomplish it within that week.
Exactly. I mean, you don't want to say, okay, well, I'm going to do this 7 days a week for, say your action plan is, I'm going to exercise more. That's way too vague because, you have to say, well, I'll exercise 3 days this week for a half hour. It needs to be measurable and specific. And that way they'll be successful. And, like, as you mentioned, they need to have confidence that they can do it. So they will do it. And so that's been very effective. Yeah.
And I love that that's something that they can expect every week. And when they come back the next week, there's an accountability piece where we follow up. It's not like you just make a plan and we never talk about it again. When you come back, you're going to share how you did. And if you struggled, then we'll work as a group to hopefully help problem solve maybe some of the struggles or things that you encountered. There's just so much interaction in these courses, and it's in all of them, at least the Living Well series, they all take these key components and they all work within those. And I think that's fantastic.
Yes. It's important that people learn from each other.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, when we especially are talking about getting burned out on being on videos and watching people talk at us and just dumping information, I think when we can engage and learn from one another in a peer type setting more than someone talking at you, it's just that much more powerful and empowering to feel like you have a voice in this conversation and your suggestions are just as valuable. So, well, what else do you guys have coming up? So what's next on the docket of Living Well classes from in Aroostook County, I guess?
Well, next week we have a diabetes management class starting. There is also a class Living Well with Better Health that I believe you're offering starting next week. We're offering Tai Chi right now, but the class has already started. And so we'll be offering Tai Chi probably again in March. We're hoping to offer a Matter of Balance soon. We weren't able to offer that virtually until now. So that should be filled up quickly because that's a really popular class. And then, if anyone's interested in taking a class, they can just call and we put them on a waiting list. And as soon as we have enough people, we offer it.
And how could somebody access the Toolbox one-on-one version? Would they just call the Aroostook Agency on Aging and ask for you?
Yes, you can call. The number is 764-3396. Call and ask for Jane, and I will be happy to do that. And, you can go to the Healthy Living for Me website and, go to info@healthylivingforme.org. You can see on our website what we have available, what's coming up. And because it's virtual, because right now we're not meeting in person, you can take a class that somebody might be doing in Sanford or Jackman, but it doesn't matter because we're all together in it. So
it's true. And I know one of the trainers that trained us that came up from downstate from, I think, Spectrum Generations, yeah. She's doing several of these classes online, and I've seen another trainer that I remembered from some Savvy Caregiver training days, who's had several classes going on as well. So it's awesome that even if one of the Aroostook County classes doesn't fit with your schedule, that you can access all of them. And we'll put the links right in the description of this video, great. So people can get right to you either for that individual one-on-one option, or they can check the website. And even if they check it 3 months from now, it'll be up to date with whatever's currently being offered. So that's awesome. Do you have anything else you'd like to share, Jane, about the programs?
Nope. Just, little trivia that's very important that people know and may not know for some of our falls prevention classes. Falls are the leading cause of both fatal and non-fatal injuries for people 65 and above.
Wow.
And additionally, the leading cause of traumatic brain injuries is falls. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we have classes that can help you keep your balance and stay on your feet and,
just live well and healthy and safely.
Exactly.
So yeah, please don't struggle alone. Reach out, look for the resources in your community. Healthylivingforme.org is where you can find out all about the Living Well for Better Health or Living Well with Diabetes or Chronic Pain class. You get these awesome books. And I mean, it's a free course, but these are not little chump changes of information. I mean, these are really great volumes that you can keep on your shelf to consult with going forward. And even if there are newer editions, this information is still so valuable. So reach out, check in, and plug in if you can, if you want to. And we hope to see you all back here in 2 weeks on January 27th for our next Wellness Wednesday Live, where we'll be talking about winter wellness and how to stay well in the winter. So thank you so much, Jane, for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Bethany. I enjoyed it very much.
Have a great day.
Thank you, too.